Good evening, and welcome to a very special episode of Gamehater. We are playing one of the most hated games of recent memory, Mighty Number 9. I'm Steve from Gamehiker. Aaron is with me.
Hello.
So, this game, before we get into it, I'll just go over the history because it's a mildly interesting story. Keiji Inafune, and please forgive my filthy Gaijin pronunciation of his name, was basically the Mega Man guy at Capcom. He designed most of the characters. He was a producer on a couple of the games, but eventually Capcom decided that they don't care about Mega Man anymore. And I think he left. I don't know if he was fired, if he quit or what, but he no longer worked for Capcom. He started his own production company and kickstarted this game, which is Mighty Number 9 and totally not Mega Man. Nothing Mega Man-like about it at all. And I guess it did really well on Kickstarter, but the project kept getting delayed or mishandled, just mismanaged in general. And when it eventually came out, people who had hyped themselves up for a new Mega Man type game made by the guy who developed Mega Man, they were let down. Apparently, the graphics are terrible, the gameplay is boring, and the developers were more interested in finding a market for spin-offs than they were in making a good game. So, it was recently cheap on the Steam sale, and how could we resist one of the more troubled games Kickstarter ever produced?
Yeah, this is one we wanted to tackle for a while, but just not something we've actually been willing to pay a decent amount of money for. So
right, just because
we finally get to confront this game and see how bad it is for its terrible self.
And maybe we'll be less angry than the average person just because we didn't back the Kickstarter and we didn't have our hype up.
That's true. I mean, we might end up actually coming out of this thinking it's an okay game.
Right. Like I for one, really enjoy Mega Man games. I'm not like a super fan who loves all of them. I think there were some pretty bad games in the series. Like Mega Man 7 and 8. I did not like Mega Man X 6 and up were pretty sad games.
Me personally, I've not been a big fan of Mega Man up until the very last Mega Man. So I never really forgave Mega Man for not being able to shoot in more than two directions. So
yes, that was always a problem for you. All right. Looks like we don't get to go because they're going to talk.
Yeah, and they, Dr. White, obviously nothing to do with any Mega Man characters.
No.
And you're staring at these characters. It's like this is the guy who designed the Mega Man characters, and this character design is not great.
No, it's inferior. I think part of it is the 2.5D 3D polygon art style. That's just, it's not a good look. And it very rarely is.
You can make it look good, but it just doesn't.
Right.
It's not that the game looks bad or anything, but knowing the amount of money and time that went into this, it should look better.
Yeah, it's a very bland, cheap art style. And they're going to interrupt us with plot constantly, because that was one of the things I hated about the later Mega Man games.
Right. It's not bad to have a little plot in there to get the game set up. But,
right. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't keep going.
Yeah. They couldn't afford to animate this guy's mouth.
Well, it's a woman's voice.
Oh, okay.
Now he's talking, and now they're not animating his voice.
See, I knew what I was talking about. I was predicting it.
You got there. Or the game caught up with your complaint, rather.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen often.
How does he get his bang to stick up like that?
A jar of moose every morning.
Yeah, I know, right?
Doesn't come in jars, does it? Huh, mate? I don't care. I just want to shoot some robots.
It's more like he gets like a banana sticking out of his head for scale.
Maybe there's like a coat hanger that he braids his hair around.
I'm glad we're getting all these secondary characters established.
Oh yeah,
they seem cool.
yeah. A talking helicopter. Lady number 6, man.
You know, it's pretty sad that we're not even like the second robot like Mega Man was. We're the 9th robot.
Do I get to kill him?
It's a robot we gotta kill. I mean, like,
Yeah, we get it.
you sort of expect that we'll just go up and kill a robot if we see one.
Right. You don't need to set the scene. I know I'm a murder bot.
Right. Oh, thank goodness we have plot for that.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Don't act surprised, dude. You made us.
So do I really have to dash through them to finish them off? Who thought that was a good idea?
Should just be enough to walk through them.
Right. Should be enough to just shoot them until they're dead. So, you know, one of my major complaints with games is breaking the momentum of my movement. And that is all this whole dash thing is going to do for me. And if that sounds like a canned complaint, it's because I watched the trailers and decided not to back the Kickstarter because of all the dashing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I could tell it was going to irritate me.
Yeah. If you're gonna have like something where you get like a dash all the time, I'd just rather be able to just run and then
Right, or weaponize
hold the button down.
Right. There's solutions. Oh, can I straight kill them? Okay, I can straight kill them. So what is my incentive? What do these combos do for me? What do the points do for me?
I mean, you're collecting something, you'd probably be cashing them in for some kind of upgrade or something of some sort.
Oh, and really, they're going to do the locked room enemy rush thing in the Mega Man game? On the NES, at least they have the courtesy of making it an elevator when they insist on doing this.
Yeah. Although, like, immediately, like, this level puts me in mind of, like, the first level in Mega Man X.
Yeah.
I only say that because I think that's about as far as I got into Mega Man X.
Never made it past the tutorial, huh?
You know, I'm not sure if it's not because I didn't finish playing it myself or until I remember, like, watching a video of it.
It was a good level. Better than this one. So I've got these little icons that are showing up that presumably do something good for me.
Well, I mean, you're also being rated on something, like, for some reason you get 80% sometimes, sometimes you get 100%. I'm not sure for why.
So these have to be some kind of temporary upgrades. I like how they're happy to tell me that there's rampaging robots in great detail, but explaining the mechanics of the game, oh no, can't have that.
Well, you know, that's because it's probably developed by a kind of person who, you know, sort of feels embarrassed by actually explaining mechanics of the game because it's like, oh, press the A button, and they're just like, oh, that bothers them. But then, you know, throwing tons of exposition in there, they don't mind that.
Right. Who's this jerk?
You mean we had to stop this giant robot? I would have never guessed.
Round digger.
I like how it gets height and weight without actual units.
Oh no, and I have to combo him? What a nightmare.
Well, I mean, his health going down regardless of whether you're doing combos or not.
Yeah, but it looks like he might regen if I don't.
Oh, I see. Like it doesn't actually fall off until
Yeah, he's
you
got
actually dash
two
him.
colored meters. Well, good thing he has that thing that stops me from jumping. Because, man, jumping would be his weakness. What? I don't have time for this.
Okay, a thing happened. Cool.
Yeah, we sure showed off the graphics engine on that one.
You got a B. You
Man,
suck.
I suck. I hate being graded in games too. I never saw the fun of that.
I did like an old racing game that I had a demo for back on the PlayStation, where if you did badly on it, it would actually tell you like, "Oh, you suck."
Thank goodness.
I always appreciated its honesty.
Based on empirical evidence, I believe they might be suffering from.
Why is this big, huge guy hanging out with a girl robot
I
that's
got
not awake? It seems pretty unfortunate.
It's suspect.
Very suspect.
Mighty number 69.
I'm sorry, Soichiro. Please,
Oh, now she's awake.
Oh.
The Japanese government won't let us intervene.
Hopefully he had the courtesy to deactivate her, so she wouldn't remember what he did. I'm not sure if that's better, come to think of it. Probably not.
I don't think there's any way of it being good.
No, I don't really know my sex robot etiquette.
Just to confirm, Mr. Sanda, if we can isolate the cause of the robot rampage, you'll send aid?
Now in Westworld, they would wipe the memories every night. But I'm not
Right.
sure that's a good example of how to handle sex robots.
No, I mean, as we see in Westworld, I mean, absolutely nothing can go wrong with that kind of approach.
Great idea. Wait,
I don't know if
his assimilation ability should filter
we've
any
talked about this,
irregularities
but
in his siblings' programming.
Westworld was based on a 70s movie with the same basic idea,
We can isolate the
Right.
cause of the problem.
which was parodied in The Simpsons in the episode Itchy and Scratchy Land.
That I did not know about.
Yeah, so that's the one where they go to, Itchy and Scratchy Land is basically a parody of Disney World. But then all the animatronic killer robots rebel,
Professor,
which was the Westworld half of the parody.
not
Yeah.
to worry, Beck. This is well within your capabilities.
I'm assuming that they're just talking about how many robots I need to kill, and that's all the plot there is.
New content in extra mode is here.
Hopefully we didn't miss anything important.
Ah,
What should we tackle next?
Okay, well I'm not going to be boring and start with Mighty number 1. Let's go to the waterworks. Water levels are usually the worst.
Okay.
You
Oh well, let's explain.
Mighty number 2, cryosphere.
Mighty number 2.
This treatment plant, which subsequently ceased operating.
So her name is Call, really?
I thought she had a name. Sandra? Am I making that up?
You all set?
I don't know.
She was not very
But I mean-
informative.
I mean, Call seems like such a unique and distinct name. Certainly not anything boring like Roll.
That's true. I mean, Roll Girl would just be a boring thing to say, whereas Call Girl sounds like a superhero.
Definitely Call Girl, you know. It makes me think of a superhero, and I can see why, you know, that's why they would name her that.
Oh my goodness. No, your screen is not glitching. The graphics really are this bad in the underwater segments.
Yeah, why do they want to have it so dark like this?
Yeah. Did an intern break the transparency filter knob?
I mean, this is terrible. I mean, like, there are like so many different underwater levels and so many different games. They usually make that an opportunity to like show like absolutely gorgeous, you know,
Right. Amazing underwater scenery.
things to look at. Yeah,
Here
and
we
then
have
we got
pipes in the
this.
sand, and we're like floating through mud.
careful, Beck. Contact with any of that malfunctioning
And I'm moving at like half speed too. Normally, when it comes to... Oh, don't touch the big glowing, obviously evil spikes, by the way.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had someone to tell us that.
I'm moving at like... moving at like half speed. It's horrible.
See, this is
And I
already
can't
like
see
it's sort of
anything.
like violating like just ideas of good gameplay mechanics where it's telling you these things instead of demonstrating it to you in a safe way.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
yeah, we know that spikes are bad, but
I've played a video game before.
even
and
if
I've
you
also
hadn't played a
lived
video
in the
game
real
before,
world,
there's
yeah.
also like even if you hadn't played a video game before, like there's a way of communicating that that's bad without having to just outright tell you
Right.
that.
Like having an enemy walk into it and die, which we've seen in plenty of games.
Yeah,
Well, those are 100% fatal.
maybe we should have someone tell us about that. Like here I am making this point, and you're like, I wonder if I can run into those electricity.
Well, no, I
thing."
wasn't testing it. I was trying to get that secret room.
I'm sure
Right.
you were.
Blew my opportunity. I was hoping I could just damage boost through, but no one told me the spikes were completely fatal. They're just making a big
this is
fuss
a
over
Mega
it.
Man-esque game.
Yeah, that's true. No, it was more my my poor decision than the game's failure to explain something to me.
I don't know. I feel like as punishment, it should start explaining everything to you.
It's like, oh, you made one mistake? Well, prepare for hand-holding, little buddy.
That would be great. Like if you're just really good at a game, and just doesn't bother telling you anything. But the moment you make a mistake, it's like it takes you to the side. Like, okay, we need to talk. You need to learn how to play this game.
That's right. A condescending old man appears out of nowhere.
Right.
Hey, I can grab these rings. Which no one told me about. How was I supposed to know?
I know you could have been stuck there for hours trying to figure out what to do.
No. Looking up a manual online. Hey, it's
Dipping
Eddie.
your manual
also
into
known as...
water to figure out how to get in there. Yeah.
There's got to be a secret. Yeah, so what we just saw there was an obvious ripoff of Eddie, also known as Flip Top, who was a robot in Mega Man 4 and onward, who would appear and drop off items. He might have started in 5, I'd have to look it up to be sure.
Is this still part of the alternate route we went?
Maybe? Okay, this looks like a boss room.
Oh, puns.
Batman and Robin puns, no less.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Snow Miser. I'm Mr. Gold.
Time to dash.
I think Arnold sang it better than I did. Thank you.
Wait, did I get it back?
I feel like I'm just, spectating in a game of Pong. I'm like a cat who doesn't respect your right to play video games, and I'm just sitting in front of the TV.
I know, like these guys were having like a perfectly good time before you walked in here.
Yeah, I mean, what a dick this bad guy is. Alright, there's
Now
one
the
of them.
one's like, oh no, I'm playing by myself now.
No, there's nothing more depressing than solo Pong.
Yeah.
And like, if the art style was just a little bit better, these environments would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it sort of blows my mind that that for a game that had this much put into it, that it doesn't look nicer than it does. Especially when
Yeah.
there are like so many other indie games that didn't really have the much time or budget and look so much nicer.
Right.
And that's probably because they didn't just choose such a generic art style.
Yeah, I mean, or they went with well-formed, pretty pixel art, or even the hyper-pixelated stuff is more interesting than this.
Yeah.
I just clipped into an ice block there.
Yeah, you keep getting stuck there for some reason.
And now I can't climb that way. Why are the frozen pipes slippery? That's not following
Have you
the
ever
rules.
been on a frozen pipe before?
I don't know. If I had any opportunity, it was probably covered in snow or something. I didn't even know it was there.
That's more like
Another mini-boss?
Maybe.
Really? More Pong? They're just going to recycle a mini-boss in the same stage?
Yeah, but this time there's somebody on top to bother you.
Oh, yeah.
And she's gonna make terrible puns at you while it's happening.
I'm more worried about those ice blocks.
Your health's getting low.
Oh, boy.
I tell you what, in any video game, there's nothing more fun than getting frozen.
Yeah. Oh, no. What a disaster. Pretty long stage.
Well, I mean, it only has 8 stages altogether, so you would expect it to be kind of long.
Yeah, true, especially in 2015, is that when it came out?
But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep complaining about this, but like, it doesn't matter what the game is. Like, I hate getting frozen. Like, I mean, you call like Ocarina of Time one of the best games ever, but when you go into the ice cave or whatever and you
Yeah.
get frozen, it is the most annoying thing in the whole world.
Yeah, at least it was kind of justified in that these guys, they were threatening you while you were frozen. But sometimes you're just stuck there waiting for the game to let you play again.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I know I did a bad thing, I messed up. Stop
Yeah.
punishing me for it.
Yeah, just let me take the damage and get on with the game. How am I even supposed to hit that guy?
I don't know. He doesn't seem all that concerned about you, though.
Okay.
Cool, you collected a thing.
Yeah, I got that thing. So is Cryo Mighty number 2? Why? Well, I guess I have a name. My name is Beck. Because I'm
Yeah.
a loser, baby.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing.
You know, Beck, and unlike your rock, so it's completely different.
Right. There's those unitless.
Well, I can't believe
stats.
she weighs 102. So shameful.
I may have to revamp some buttons. She's actually shouting pew 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 when she shoots.
That is kind of fun.
I'm into that. See, that was punishing.
See, this is where it would be nice to have somebody else's weapon.
Yeah. One that can actually hit her more than once every 10 seconds.
Yeah, you're not getting any attacks off on this girl.
Come on. How irritating.
Yeah, that wasn't great at all.
Yeah, let's just keep me frozen and then never have a window to attack. May as well make her a damage sponge while we're at it. Wowza.
Now we know how Metroids feel when Samus attacks them.
Yeah. Except they never fail to catch me. I am not coming back to this stage after my game over. How funny would it be if the boss order was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
That would be pretty great. You know what would make this boss fight a lot easier, though?
Go for it.
If Beck could shoot more in one to two directions. See, I might have backed a Kickstarter if he could shoot diagonally or up, which I know is sacrilege for a Mega Man game, but you know this isn't actually a Mega Man game, so
It's not.
I don't feel bad.
They had more freedom.
They could have taken their game design out of the 80s.
The much better Mega Man clone, well, it was a 20 XDX, did let you get upgrades to shoot in different directions. And
I don't think
we
it
all liked it.
lets you shoot in different directions, but it gave you variants on your main weapon, so like it had a wider range.
Right. You get a single shot that would shoot at different angles. You didn't have
Yeah.
full control. But see, the thing is, it's totally legit to make a Mega Man game where you can only shoot in one direction, but maybe let the guy you're fighting be in the plane of that shot sometimes.
That's absurd. Where do you get off on ideas like that?
Instead of just Super Mario sunshining her way across the map all day long.
Tell you what, this is making me want to go back and play some 20XDX again, though.
Ah, so much better.
That is like one of the best co-op games out there.
It's really good, yeah. We'll have to... Let's talk about why 20XDX is clearly better than this game. 20XDX is a roguelike inspired by Mega Man X.
Right.
And it is glorious. So
Yeah, you get to play as the you get two main characters. One that plays like X and one that plays like Zero. Both are really fun to play as. Obviously, playing as X is going to be a lot easier. The girl with the shooting robot, whatever her name is.
Megan. That's not
yeah.
her real name, but we call her Megan Man.
But yeah, I mean, it just plays better, and I mean, you don't have like as carefully designed stages as you do here.
Right, it's all procedurally generated.
Procedurally, yeah.
But actually,
yeah,
they're more interesting stages than what we just played.
Yeah, I mean, you have more platforming opportunities. It's less about what looks neat or makes a cohesive looking world. It's about having pure, interesting, fun platforming with dangers and all kinds of stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And right, so you have a selection of 3 bosses you can fight at a time. So you're less locked into a specific order. You have to be a lot more variable, which means the boss weapons aren't quite as meaningful, even though each boss does have a weakness.
Right.
You just can't count on having the right weakness.
And then there's just so much variety in your upgrades.
Right.
And it is so satisfying getting like almost any upgrade.
Yeah, so in roguelike style, you're constantly picking up upgrades. More damage, more weapon energy, and roguelike-y stuff, vampire mechanics, what's happening. Or things like the X-Armors. And it's just a really good time. This is not a good time. Just the way the graphics are working out, it's hard to keep track of what's where, what's on the plane.
It started off so promising with like this like train cart level, and then like immediately it wants to freeze in one area and just throw crap at you.
Right.
And not even in a meaningful way. Just
it's stuff that doesn't even stand out from the background.
Yeah.
Because this background is way too busy for what they want to do with the enemy patterns.
Here we go. Here we go.
And well, it's not even a train level. It's you're on all these cars and stuff like that, and
highway.
It bothers me because I feel like the moment someone sees you jumping on their windshield, they're gonna have an accident.
It's true. Very sociopathic Beck here.
No kidding. Why can't he just get his own car?
Because he is a sociopath and not even
Also,
a good one.
Also, this is like Big Blue and Smash Brothers, where you can't touch the road.
Yep. Well, we might be seeing a new level shortly.
Didn't quite make it to the end of this one.
Right. Yeah, so, going back to not fighting Mighty Number 2 again. A big piece of Mega Man games is you just do little expeditions into each level, see which one you think you can manage without boss weapons. And I didn't feel that way about number 2, obviously. So really, the first time I go through a Mega Man game, I never really expect to beat any of the stages I go into.
Right.
And that's okay.
It's really like an interesting, game design perspective to have. Like, It really speaks back to the NES era when you had basically short games that you needed to give them
Find ways to
extend how long you're going to play them, whether you're making them really difficult or you're relying on players having to replay the level because
Right.
they didn't have the right weapon for it. And it's hard to say whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, obviously, it's something that Mega Man fans like and expect.
Yeah, I appreciate it because it's a strategic element to a shooter platformer.
Whereas me,
that's
like
rude
I
to
guess
stitch.
I just like going straight into, a level and knowing exactly what I'm getting.
Attention.
Or not like necessarily knowing what I'm getting, but knowing that if I go into it and I'm not like veering off the main path, that it's something that I can beat
Sure.
without having to be extremely skilled or having something I haven't picked up yet.
Right. Going in with the expectation that you'll beat it as
Right.
long as you don't completely suck. Whereas,
Maybe he stopped transmitting.
Mega Man games,
Stopped functioning.
everything's beatable if you get good, but they're designed around finding an easy path the first time you play it. And then maybe if you want to become a Mega Man champion, you can in the future. Do like a Mega Buster only run.
How do you get in there? I bet you had to get something to
Yeah,
blow those blocks up there.
you're probably right. I was hoping I could dash through, but I think you're right. Because I have squeezed into the spots by dashing in the past. I hate the stash mechanic. I hate it so much. When you're just stunning enemies and you have to do the finishing blow. It's not cool.
Yeah. It's like having a finishing blow in a video game is not necessarily a bad thing, but I hate when it feels like you have to do it.
Right. When the game is designed around the finishing blow mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh man. Thanks for putting a call box right on top of those spikes. Because whatever you're saying is so important. Way more important than the stage.
It all makes you wish that this game was sort of like Metal Gear Solid, where they start calling your name when you die, and then calls like in the middle of telling you something like that, and you die because you can't see the bottom of the screen.
All right.
Alright, let's try one more stage.
You all set then?
We're going after Mighty Number 1. This is basically the Proto Man of bad guys.
Surely he'll be the weakest.
A fire-wielding robot running wild.
See, one thing that bothers me about having this game name these robots like Mighty Number 1 through 8, and you being Mighty Number 9, is like it lends these robots like a permanent importance that wouldn't do well with actual sequels.
That's true. I mean, they kind of had that. I do not like what he's up to. They kind of had that in the original series where...
Yeah, like all the robots in the first game were all designed by Light, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't in the same model series as Mega Man.
Yeah, I mean, they were numbered. But it wasn't really that important. The numbering was just kind of a plot twist for when they revealed Proto Man.
Right.
Oh, he was not ready for that.
Here, I feel like we're trying to murder our siblings, and it bothers me.
Yeah, it's disturbing. I'm not even convinced they had anything wrong. It sounded like they were just mentally ill, which makes Beck a monster.
I mean, it makes it pretty much like any family where one of your family members starts talking crazy stuff, and rather than try to understand their point of view, you immediately start arguing with them.
Yeah. I mean, that's just family, I guess.
It's Robot Thanksgiving.
Robo-giving. Oh, there's the guy. He looks like a lacrosse player. Are you gonna say something, or are you just gonna waste my time? Oh, come on. Get out of here with this Mad King.
Wow, what an original concept for a fire-based enemy. He just
Yeah.
constantly in a bad mood and angry.
What? Where?
Just let me play. I need to introduce a friggin' mini boss.
And it's confirmed. Pyro has gone rogue as well. Meg, you must hurry. Bring it on. Here we go. Bring it on.
Again, this is the blandest thing you can do in a video game.
Bring it on.
Yeah, just like an enemy rush, and then like they're even like trying to make it plot worthy too.
Right. It's giving you a cool mini boss.
One of the things that was nice about 20xdx was that you did have a pair of scientists that were commenting on your progress,
Right.
but they were certainly not on your side.
They were not. You know, they seemed to be running some horrible experiment.
What was really great was like those optional developer rooms where they would offer you like an upgrade that would come with like a serious flaw to it.
Right.
Like it might spike up your attack by tenfold, but one hit would kill you.
Right. So you get that risk reward element to upgrades. It's delightful. And I think that's one area where I think the Mega Man X series is superior to the original. Is, you know, as they went on, you started getting multiple armor sets you could choose from, so you had some element of customization for your build, which of course adds replay value.
Right.
And decisions, both of which are good in games.
Yeah, we got a thing.
Alright, let's dash through an exploding level. I
Ready
can
to wait
tell.
for it to fall in front of us with no downside whatsoever.
Uh-huh. Wow, insta-kills. They really like the insta-kills in this game.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be Mega Man without instant kills.
That's true. But again, like, the perspective of this art style is so bad. You know, precision matters with everything you do. And any uncertainty on where these pillars are going to fall is a problem.
Yeah, it could be like fixed easily if they want to do this by, you know, just giving you a shadow.
Yeah, giving them a shadow.
I mean, it's basically the same thing you had in like the chomp levels in Yoshi's Island, but I'm pretty sure you had a shadow to let you know where they were falling.
Yeah, it was very clear where they were going to fall. Uh-oh. Thank you, ledge grab.
So much for your ledge grab.
So much for that ledge grab. Like, I really hate ragging on an art style, but this is an art style that's interfering with gameplay.
Yeah, it's really busy in the background, too.
Yeah. And that was just a section where it kind of punished you for being cautious, because it blew up platforms behind you. Or in front of you, rather.
Pyro, finally.
Alright, you got one life to kill him.
No, well, should be fine.
Why you not burn?
You can definitely tell he was the first one. He's not very bright.
Yeah, the AI is not doing so hot.
Uh-oh.
Burn.
But I mean, processors do have trouble at high temperatures, so I'm not too
true.
surprised.
I mean, basically his entire program should be shutting down from...
What's your deal?
This is kind of nice. You can actually give him some damage.
I can hit him.
Makes him more of an ideal first boss to fight then.
Oh, it actually announced a fine play. Because I need the game to encourage me to keep shooting a boss.
I mean, otherwise you just be like, this isn't going to do it for me. I'm just going to stop attacking him.
Okay, so it seems like the second dash he likes to jump. Is that true? No. Okay, I'm having trouble predicting him. So you said that was probably my last life?
Yeah, you were at 0
over.
lives, so...
Well, he probably is a good starter boss. But, that was our episode. So let's talk.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm coming from this as a perspective from a person who
Right.
was never a big Mega Man fan. So,
Mhm.
I mean, aside from like quibbles like the art style and a few gameplay mechanics, like compared to other Mega Man games, I don't consider this to be a bad game. I don't think it's necessarily better than any Mega Man game. I would say it's necessarily worse than the series as a whole. It's just kind of average to me. But also, I wasn't the one playing it.
If I had to compare it to a Mega Man game, I would compare it to Mega Man 8, which is my least favorite one. They both have the same.
That would have been the second Super Nintendo one, right?
PlayStation, actually.
Okay.
They both have the issue of really busy backgrounds, but ultimately bland stage design and silly
Which is a matter of
mechanics.
just evolving the graphics, but not the actual gameplay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the thing that annoyed me more than anything else was when they had those stupid dialogue boxes blocking my view of something very important that could kill me in one hit.
Yeah.
That, to me, is unforgivable. So yeah,
Granted, I don't really think that's something necessarily unique to this game, but it's certainly not very helpful in a platforming game.
No.
As opposed to whether it would be like in different genres of game where having a little bit of your screen blocked off doesn't really make that big of a difference.
Right. And there could have been more elegant ways of not blocking important information. What else was I going to say? It was also silly to repeat the dialogue when after I died and went back to the same spot.
Yeah.
Surely they could remember they showed it to me. Ultimately, with Mega Man games, I'm used to much better stage design, more interesting enemy placement.
Yeah, I mean, like even the like stage design we were seeing, like with I think 3 levels we played, I didn't really see anything that standed out. Like, I mean, sure they were kind of okay looking, and they all blended well together. They had like definitely a theme for what they're trying to accomplish, but they didn't really do anything interesting or unique with underwater level or a train like level or level that's on fire for whatever reason. They just weren't that unique altogether.
Yeah, it just feels very low effort all around. And that's the theme. The art style is low effort, the stage design is low effort, the theming is low effort, and even the attempts to make it its own IP were low effort. And I think they were trying to sell a Kickstarter around nostalgia. That's what they were doing. And I think the lesson is to just be wary of nostalgia projects.
Yeah, no, this really was a big lesson for so many different Kickstarter games, and it made it a lot more difficult for some of the more legitimate ones. Like, it's not quite out yet, but I imagine like there was a lot more apprehension when Bloodstain got announced as a successor to Castlevania, because sort of similar situation, similar idea. Developer of a game where the developer doesn't want to make the game anymore. Now the actual person wants to make it on their own. So it's like, well, are we going to learn from Mighty Number 9 and not support this game, or are we going to still go ahead and give it a shot?
Yeah, and it really is. It's unfair what this game did to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because when you're kickstarting something, you're buying something on speculation. You're investing. And sometimes it's not going to pan out, but I think it's a harsh lesson that you really are gambling. That people didn't cope well with.
Yeah, and I think it'd have been a little bit different if it had just been a bad game and it came out on schedule.
Right.
Waiting so long for a bad game.
Yeah, and it still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the old business adage. You can choose 2 out of the 3: good, cheap, and fast. And we got expensive, slow, and bad. So we got 0 out of 3.
But yeah, like overall, I think my conclusion is I don't think this is necessarily like a terrible game. And like,
No.
I understand the hate it got, but if you were just buying this game out of the blue, it certainly doesn't deserve like a whole lot of hate. It's definitely just a basically average game. And I mean, if you're gonna pay $5 for it, which is what it's right now, like I don't think you'd be terribly disappointed. But there's better games out there to buy for $5 too. So
yeah, I have to agree. I think you are less inclined to hate it because you don't like Mega Man anyway, so it can't really let you down to the same extent as a Mega Man fan. But,
especially if you're a Mega Man fan that's been going through like a long drought of games that are like Mega Man, I can see how this would be hugely disappointing. Like if this is a Metroid game, I would be so upset.
Yeah,
or a Metroid knockoff.
This is like the other M of Mega Man.
Yeah, which case I can perfectly understand where the hatred comes from.
Right. Actually, it's more like the Federation Force. Some people vaguely like Metroid, but isn't and is marketed as a replacement for Metroid.
Right.
It's Federation Force. Yeah, as a Mega Man fan, this just feels like a really lazy Mega Man clone. And I'd rather play the real thing for sure. I'd boot up Mega Man 4, 5, 6. For this one. I'd even rather replay Mega Man 8. And I hate it.
So I mean, if you're going on Steam to, go purchase a game that's Mega Man-like, go buy the Mega Man Collection or go buy 20XDX. You can't go wrong with either one of those.
Yeah, I fully agree. Shovel Knight is another kind of similar to Mega Man kind of game.
Where Mega Man uses a shovel instead of a blaster.
Right. Yeah. Other than that, basically the same thing. And no, we're not getting paid to say any of that. Those really are just very good games that are worthy of your consideration. And yeah, let's skip Mighty Number 9. So, final rating.
I'm going to give this one a mighty waste of time.
And I'm going to put as much effort into my rating as this game did into its game. And give it a thumbs down.
Okay.
So, there we go. That was Gamehater playing Mighty Number 9. As always, we are open to suggestions for other games to review. And with all that said, we hate this game, and we're going to bed. Good night.
Good night.